Welcome back, Rams. I'm still J.J. McKinney. The United States Department of Agriculture defines food insecurity as a lack of consistent access to enough food to live an active, healthy life. Food insecurity is a problem that affects millions of Americans across the country. According to the USDA Food Security Status of U.S. households in 2023, over 18 million households were food insecure, with almost 7 million struggling so much that their eating patterns were disrupted. There are over 3 million households with children who are experiencing food insecurity as well. In Larimer County alone, almost 10% of the population may be food insecure. With food insecurity being a widespread problem across the city, multiple organizations are doing their part to ensure that no one in the community goes hungry. Rams Against Hunger in Larimer County are contributing with their annual Cans Around the Oval event. Cans Around the Oval is planning to give back to those in need for its 38th year. The program is focusing on raising awareness about food insecurity in Larimer County. The event, which is a joint effort between Rams Against Hunger and the Larimer County Food Bank, collects foods and funds for the Fort Collins community. This includes monetary donations, non-perishable food items, and their main staple, canned foods. Basic Needs Senior Program Coordinator Catherine Conrad has supervised Cans Around the Oval for 4 years, with new insights on the program this time around.
It has changed a lot throughout the years. So this year looks very different than its first year, and that is intentional and for the better. It has changed and evolved to make sure that there's more education within the drive rather than just raising food and funds, because as important as that is, it's not the only piece. So putting an emphasis this year on just trying to find significant ways for people to interact with Cans Around the Oval, even if they can't donate to it. So trying to make sure that this is a tradition that everyone at CSU can participate in rather than just those who have the means to donate. So Collection Day is what people always think of when they think of Cans Around the Oval, and that's that big fanfare kind of day where Amy Parsons and Blanche Hughes come and speak, and the Spirit Squad is there, and we line the oval with cans, and the food bank is everywhere, and there's volunteers and kids doing can instruction and things like that. That day is really special, and that's because that's when the community actually gets to physically come together and see what they've done for the whole month. So the food bank is invited, of course, to help us palletize everything and just be part of that community. That day is also really special because that's the first time we get an idea of how much poundage we've collected at all. So all of the cans, food, whatever, comes to the Oval on that day.
Cans Around the Oval kicked off on September 16th and will be collecting donations all month long, up till October 16th. Where the community will bring all their donations together for their collection day. Cans Around the Oval is just one way Rams Against Hunger is combating food insecurity in the Fort Collins community. While Cans is just 1 month long, the organization has a space for students and the Fort Collins community to get the resources they need all year long. Roe Wilson Scott has experienced the difficulties of finding affordable food firsthand.
I was a second-year student who had just moved off campus, and I was like, oh my gosh, like groceries are really expensive, and I was looking for a way to make it a little bit more affordable, and instead of going to King Soopers all the time. So I came in here and was, wow, like we've got a lot of really good stock there. This is amazing. Trying to make like the feeling that I had as a sophomore of like, wow, like this resource is like for me, and it's like been helping me a lot. I wanted to share that with a lot of other folks, especially the folks that like might need a bit more than me.
Within Rams Against Hunger, Scott's found a way for him, along with many of the other students in the CSU community, to get the resources they need. The food pantry.
So we are a partner agency at the food bank for Larimer County, which is why Cans is important, because it used to just benefit the food bank, and it still does, but because we're a partner agency of them, it also directly benefits Rams Against Hunger. So that whole operation goes all the way up to Feeding America, which is a national entity, and they identify food that is going to go to waste for whatever reason, and then through that whole system, it gets to food banks, and then their food pantries and partner agencies. So that would be us.
We focus a lot on working with Office of International Programs. We work with undocumented student success and other students and other organizations organizations. We work with the Basic Needs Coalition, and we focus on prioritizing those needs.
The food pantry is a joint operation being ran by Rams Against Hunger with help from the Slice office and the Larimer County Food Bank. The pantry is meant to serve as a permanent food source for all of CSU's students, staff, and faculty. Anyone who needs the pantry can walk in and find a variety of food, from canned goods, milk, fruit, vegetables, and even treats to help feed them and their families.
Rewarding part is just seeing the folks that always come in, and especially like towards the end of the shift when there's not as many people. Typically towards the end of the shift, we don't have as many resources to give out as we do at the beginning. And there's often a few folks that have families and like usually are like wanting a few key items, and it's always nice to like know which items they're kind of wanting and like kind of reserving a couple in the back and making sure that like they get what they need for themselves and their family.
I think the biggest impact is of course the food that people have and also the community that they make while coming in here. We have regulars that come here often that we know their names, they know ours, we know their family members, we know what clubs they're part of, and we get to communicate that way. So I feel that it makes for such a more inclusive space.
While food is the primary resource that the food pantry provides, it's not the only resource that the pantry has to offer.
So a lot of people don't realize that we would have hygiene products at the food pantry just because they think food are not hygiene. The reason we carry different hygiene products is because we notice that if it is between dinner or say Plan B, it's probably going to be dinner, even though maybe that Plan B is really important for you that day. So we try to carry options, right, for people who, for whatever reason, might need them. So all of our sexual health supplies through Cruise. We just sponsored a bill with ASCSU last year to get pregnancy tests funded in perpetuity. Those will be through Cruise soon, which is really exciting. Yeah, Plan B through the Health Network, and then period products through one of our partners called Justice Necessary.
Overall, Rams Against Hunger and its programs like the food pantry serve its community members and its employees in more ways than one.
I have family members here who I've gotten close to, and they like give me a hug or ask me how my family is. They don't know my family personally, but they like know me and like care for me. And I think that is just one of the most impactful things for me, because I don't feel like I'm working with strangers and for strangers. I feel like I get to know people in the community.
A lot of students don't have enough money to buy groceries consistently at stores. Like, I think that one of like the biggest things I can like give to like the student body is like, come use this resource. Like, don't feel like you're taking away from folks who like don't need. Like, this is for CSU. It's for CSU staff, faculty, for CSU students, for that community.
The food pantry is open Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. and on Tuesdays from 9 a.m. to noon. If you or anyone that you know is suffering from food insecurity, Rams Against Hunger and Larimer County Food Bank wants you to know that there are more resources to help. You can go to foodbanklarimer.org for more information about where to find safe and affordable food near you. That's all we have for you tonight, Rams. But check out our YouTube channel for more content all week. Stay safe and have a great weekend.